Welcome, 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 welcome. You are now in Ray's Juke Joint. This is the Pickoff Show with Ray and Eric. The R in Rays and the E in Rays are here. The lights are on. And we just gonna be talking some baseball because nobody want to talk about football.
No.
Nobody wants to talk about football. Nobody wants to talk about like we're baseball guys. I had to come, Eric. I have to come to a conclusion, and it felt good to even say it out loud at work this week before the Bears game. Right? I don't care anymore. I'm a baseball guy. Like I only like baseball. That's it.
It's funny we were talking. I was talking with the girl last night, and I was just like, I think I got to spend more time in stuff that more of my passions brings out, stuff that I'm really passionate about. And she's like, you should do more of the fantasy baseball and the podcasting thing because that's when you seem to be the happiest. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I said, I think I want to play more fantasy baseball and talk about baseball more often. I said, I think that's what I enjoy. So
no, I mean,
here we are.
Real, I love the Bears. I'm always going to be a Bears fan, but I don't like talking baseball or football. I really don't. I don't. Yep. I don't think it's as intricate or as whatever as baseball is. I don't think basketball is anywhere near.
You've got so many casuals in football that just don't understand.
Yeah. And it's fun to talk, talk trash, and I love to go to the games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm always going to do that. But when I want to talk and I want to get in front of the microphone, and there's Caleb right there talking about Skull. He's so crazy. Skull. It's just like baseball for me is where like I wake up and you know what's so crazy? Our season's been over with about 2 months. I still wake up. First thing I do is hit fucking fan tracks.
Yeah, like
it's embarrassing. I wake up and hit fan tracks.
Yeah, like I'm constant. The thing I love about the new Twitter features, you can kind of control your story. Like the more shit you like, the more shit you get. Every morning, I'm up. It ain't my work emails, nothing else. I'm like, did anybody sign? What's a new leading notice? And you're like, when you realize that's what you're doing, first thing when you wake up in the morning, that's where your passion lies. It's just there's no doubt about it.
Like we're sending each other messages at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
That's
like, did you see this clip on this and this on this? And like it's not even December yet. Like they ain't playing baseball for 5 months. So like
we're
just
literally
gotta be honest with ourselves and be like we're baseball people.
We're baseball guys, and this is a good time to be a baseball guy because like this is and for baseball guys like you and me, like you son of a bitch, you got me freaking into front office stuff more than I want.
Oh yeah, this is
I'm very much a front office. Like I want to learn more. What does this mean on Sports Track? How does this project? What the hell is pre-art money versus art money versus projected money versus it's like so freaking much that and then how all that goes into trade values for player. It's and we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff today.
You know what I mean? And and I was talking with Kevin, a friend of mine, we were talking today, and he was talking about, side piece, but I mean, a little bit of the show is like, what should the White Sox take on Cody Bellinger's contract was basically his deal. How many prospects would the Cubs have to give us? Take it on. And I'm like, I go, his WAR ain't that bad. It's like -8. And he's like, his value. And he's like, well, how do they get -8? And I go, well, listen, I said, he's like a 2-2 WAR guy. That's worth like $22 million. He's getting paid $25 a year, $27 a year over 2 years. This comes out to about a -8 trade value. And I mean, when you're talking about that stuff with November 25th, I'm texting you at the same time at 7:00 in the morning, like you said, like, listen, baseball's in our blood. No doubt about it.
Yeah. So let's just hop right into it. Because, we're always going to be here, right? This is the number one.
This is where we're at, right?
This is it. Like
this is the biggest piece of the White Sox offseason times 10.
And last week when we were talking, according to John's page, shout out to Baseball Trade Values, our friend John. He was a value of 42.5 last week, and it's jumped. And we're going to get to the reason why it's jumped, but now he's a 47.7.
Almost 10% climb, a little over.
Yeah. And so he's more valuable now because moves have been made.
Yep.
Markets have changed because of the Kikuchi trade. I mean, the Kikuchi signing.
Yep.
In LA, and then the trade for Singer.
Yep.
That the Reds did, from the Royals. So we're going to talk about both of those and then kind of how that kind of molds.
Yeah, the market's always fluid, right? It's no
Yeah.
different than stock market or everything else. Like, what are teams willing to pay for?
And this is crazy because like we literally had this trade last week for Garrett Crochet to the Phillies, right?
Yeah.
And so Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford, and then we had another one with different prospects, but still adds up, so on and so forth. A little bit of an overpay with this one, but we still had
now this Phillies. Is right in line, right? At 47.
So right, exactly. So now we're like right there because his value has went up. That's the reason why I wanted to show last week. So 42.2, right? And then now it's 47.7. So now these two prospects don't get the job done, right?
Right.
And then these two prospects are right there as a minor overpay now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, or it would actually just be accepted by their model because there's a little room for error. But yes, it's a little bit over,
Right. So then that's just for right now. So let's just talk about a little bit of the Phillies, because of what happened in the playoffs with them. They know they need something else.
Yeah.
And Crochet and I told you I wouldn't mind sending both of them jokers to Phillies.
Listen, you and the guy I was speaking of earlier, Kevin, he's been trying to send Robert and Crochet there all offseason. Like, send them both. Send them both to Philadelphia.
Yeah. So according to Bob Nightingale, this MLB underdog MLB, the Phillies have discussed Alec Bohm, Justin Crawford in extensive trade talks for Garrett Crochet. So this is so we talked about it 2 weeks ago, and now here we are. It's coming to fruition. Or was that last week? We talked about it. Was that last week or
last week?
Okay, so so last week. So
10 days ago, whatever, Thursday, right?
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, that's what it was. We didn't do it on Monday. We did it on Thursday. So now that's why it felt long.
Or Wednesday night, maybe. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was a Thursday. Yeah. So now you got the Phillies thinking Alex Bohm and Justin Crawford, and then it comes out that the extensive trade talks involving him and Justin Crawford notes that the White Sox are concerned with Bohm's second half struggles last season. And I just started to laugh when I saw that. Like, who the hell are you to be concerned about anything, Chicago White Sox?
Yeah. Well, right. And like, I know I didn't even look, but I'm sure this is going to be a giant misunderstanding among most people. Like, the White Sox really aren't interested in Alex Bohm. That's just, this screams three-way trade.
Right.
It screams, can they get him and flip him to somebody else? The thing that probably got me most excited was this is a chance for the White Sox to get over the Mariners, which you know how much you and I love their farm system and how crazy their GM over there is for trades and stuff or whatever. This is screaming for a chance to maybe get over into the Seattle system. But they're not going to – and anybody that doesn't quite get it, listen, they're not going to trade away 2 years of Crochet, damaging the team, to pick up 2 years of Bohm. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not the idea. It's just three-way trade or potentially get him and turn around and flip him to get the most prospects they can possibly get in this scenario.
Right. And then you add on the fact that this came out, that the Phillies are expected to make a strong play for Alex Bregman, which in turn would be, if they get the Bohm trade done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Alex coming out and saying that he's willing to play second base, too, like that, like, works pretty well with the Phillies, who has Stott, Turner, or whatever. Like, they might want to move some. They've been trying to maybe talk about getting Trey off a shortstop there for the longest career, etc. Getting older, so keep him healthier. So, like, I could definitely see it. I saw Boston was just interested in Bregman as well, but Bregman's going to bring some noise because third base, it's a weak position.
And it's a premium position as
far as it is. And it's probably the weakest it's probably been for a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah. So that brings us to this, right? So you had a couple scenarios that we talked about, and you kind of just threw it into the model with trade with baseball trades, right? And you said definitely it has to be the fact that Bohm is even in the discussion for the fact that Bohm is even in the discussion for a trade that changes everything. It has to be a three-way trade. If
it's got to be a three-way trade,
it has
right?
to, right. Yeah. So then let's look at this scenario right here. Let me close this banner.
It's tough to get three on like one pitcher. By the way, it's tough.
Right. So we're looking at Garrett Crochet, right?
Yep.
And
that's to the Phillies up top, obviously.
Right. We're looking at Garrett Crochet to the Phillies up top, right? And then you bring back Justin Crawford and Jack Coglione, right? And then you dug deep for Griffin Bergholder.
Yeah.
Right? You dug deep. But we've looked at him in the past as something else. And then Bohm ends up in KC with the Royals. Yep. And I thought this one interesting because of their inabilities to keep third base. Like they don't have a third baseman. I mean, Maikel Garcia is good. He's young. He's just not it yet. He hasn't figured it out. He hasn't figured out how to keep consistent power, how to make consistent at bats. But he's a terror on the base path when he's on, and he's a clutch hitter for some reason. It's just weird.
Yeah,
RBIs like crazy. But that's kind of Alex Bohm's move without the speed, you know.
Right.
But Alex Bohm can hit bombs. I just don't know why the Phillies just didn't unleash him to just sell out for power.
Like, I don't know the probability of this deal, but I just know that like Bohm was linked to the Royals. Looking at the Royals system, there's really nothing there that's intriguing to come back to the White Sox, other than I know that they had done a little bit of homework on, Jack from Florida in the draft this year. Are they going to try to give away their 1-7 pick or whatever they were this year, like in the draft? I don't know. I doubt it. But like, I just know, like I said, Bohm was linked to Kansas City. So like this was one scenario knowing it's got to be a three-way trade that
but that
put together.
Yeah. And then this one. Hold on. Did my silly self do both? I did both. That's crazy. I did too.
You put this one up there twice?
I put it up there twice. Ain't that about something?
Yeah.
Dog it.
But the other one got us into the Mariners system again.
Right. And I thought I put that. Hold on. Oh, you know what I might have did? I might have just did that. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Yeah. See, that's what I did. So when I was putting everything together, I messed up and I was like, I'm missing one. And that was the one I was missing. So here it is right here. So there it is, into the Mariners system. So as you can see, the White Sox would get Crawford from the Phillies, Cole Young and Bryce, what's his name?
Rincon.
Yeah, Bryce Rincon. Yeah, Bryce Rincon, Cole Young and Bryce Rincon from the Mariners. So Crawford from the Phillies and the other two from the Mariners. The Phillies get their guy and the Mariners get Alex Bohm. And I like this trade scenario even better.
Yeah, I do too. And I think it might even be a little more realistic than the Royals turn on giving away their first-round draft pick they just drafted, in that scenario. And I don't think the White Sox and Royals make good trade partners anyway, just being in the interdivision, the whole thing. Like, it seemed to be a thing last deadline, so I'm guessing it's still a thing. But it brings – having the third team involved brings in all kinds of unique scenarios with Bohm. And I'm sure that's probably – I guarantee you that Getz is turning over every stone he can. So when you hear that Alec Bohm's been mentioned, the information Nightingale's got, it's not to keep him on the White Sox. It's to trigger a three-way deal somewhere, somehow, or the White Sox are seeing what they can get for Bohm out on the street they might be interested in, that the Phillies aren't. The Phillies aren't interested in two young prospects right now. They're just not, to get rid of Bohm. They're interested in probably a bullpen piece that a lot of people don't want to get rid of unless they're not competing, or whatever. So I think it might take a three-way trade to get Alex Bohm moved, and I think the White Sox just might have the tool to do it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, that's kind of where we are with Crochet as of right now. We have no news. We really haven't been seeing much on the Robert front.
No.
But Crochet is the jewel of the offseason for the White Sox to get to get the most value return back, right?
Right.
So I think that White Sox fans need to brace themselves, but hope that any of these scenarios that we've done the last couple of weeks come to fruition. I think the smarter White Sox fans will be happy.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
This makes for the future, because we got to get out the Band-Aids and the gauze and you know, we got to get out of that cycle.
That whole dynamic's got to change, right?
Like we have to be able to keep our layering happening. We have to be able to continue to build on the farm. And Chris Getz coming from that, and then now he's the main guy, and then even having I thought about the Will Venable thing again, and the type of player he was, and listening to people he's worked with. You know, that's the coach that he can be. You know, at the big league level for these young guys. So I don't know. I like that one move we did make. We talked about it. Who he brought in for his bench coach.
Yeah,
I did like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know as well as I do. If somehow we were handed the reins, I would just pilfer the Brewer system. Like what they do over there, I think is top notch. I mean, we've covered it many times on the air, but you know, there's a lot of people out there like, you never trade away Crochet, you don't trade away a potential top of the line rotation guy. They should extend him, they should build around him. Like that, one, in this current scenario makes absolutely zero sense. And two, like, what do you mean you don't do it? You just saw the Brewers trade away Corbin Burns and win the division the same year.
Right.
Like, this is how you run front office stuff. So I'm a huge Brewers fan, so I like to move for the bench coach.
Absolutely. So, you know, we have, I forgot, we were supposed to talk about the 40. But the White Sox did add Cosa Montgomery and Juan Carrella to the 40.
They protected them from the Rule 5 draft. It's going to be coming up to winter meetings, both of them.
Yeah.
So
the 40 is pretty much set.
Yep. Non-tender came and went last Friday.
Yep. So we had
Gavin Sheets out.
Yep.
Was probably the only really maybe borderline thing. I don't even think it's probably borderline at this point. Once they signed Austin Hayes, that was pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered that Sheets was on his way out. But
yeah. And then I saw no, Austin Slater, not Hayes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hayes did not get tendered by whoever he was with.
Philadelphia, I think.
Yeah, Philly.
Yeah.
And so the 40 is set. No surprises truly over there on the 40. I did see something that was intriguing. What was it? It was the White Sox are aggressively shopping Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah. I mean, of course they are. What's he got left? 2 years?
Yeah.
But the problem is he's got to have, I mean, I'll pull up John's site. I mean, take a look, but I'm going to guess -20 trade value. Like, he ain't going anywhere. Of course, they would love to get his contract off the books, but, you know, I just can't see a scenario where they can move him that would make any sense.
No, me neither.
Unless they're going to, like, give the team money to take him and get a couple of prospects back. I mean, sure, I could see that, I suppose.
I don't know what his value is. I found it funny that he was even like mentioned in like the word aggressive, and Andrew Benintendi is like oil and
well, to give you an idea, I'm
oil.
pretty sure he's got 2 years left, but let me look it up. But he's played here 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So he's got 3 years left. It was a 5-year deal then. He's played here 2. So he got 3 years left. He's owed $45 million. You have to pay somebody $30 million to take him. So, I mean, I can't see a scenario where he's going probably anywhere.
He's supposed to get 16.5 this year.
He's going to get, 17-1, 17-1, and 15. So he's got 34 and 15. He's got like $50 million coming, and you got to pay 30 to have somebody take him. Yep. So he's worth about $6 million a year, and we're paying him 17. Of course, they want to try to get rid of it.
Yeah,
but I really don't see a fit there unless the White Sox are just going to eat a whole bunch of cash with it, and maybe they do. But I don't see a fit there.
Yeah, I agree. So we did discuss Garrett Crochet's value going up, right?
Yeah.
And here's one of the reasons why, right? During just so far, only a couple things have happened in the offseason. The Royals acquired Jonathan India and Joey Weimer from the Reds for Brady Singer, right? And if you look at that price tag for Singer
Right.
and the amount of time he has left on his contract, that kind of set a market, right? And
Yeah.
then
So you notice overpaid by Cincinnati, right? Yep.
right, overpaid by Cincinnati, right? So now that sets like a bar for starting pitchers as far as value is concerned, which in turn shot Crochet's up. Plus this move in the offseason, right? And this is the one I kind of want to kind of dig into a little bit and just talk front office stuff. Okay. So but I do before I go, I do like Jonathan India going to the Reds. I mean going to the Royals, but I hate it because they're in our division. But he fits that team so well.
Yeah,
in my
I
opinion,
mean,
he fits.
like you said, they struggled. Frazier and Garcia, they were, neither one could truly be counted on last year. So
and
he
India
definitely solves another top of the order bat there for them.
And India had kind of like a bounce back year, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he ended up like 357 OBP. He's kind of a weird cat if you go check out his savant. Like he's got amazing no chase, great eye, but he's still got a lot of swing and miss. But I mean, if from fantasy purposes, since we do a little bit of both on the show, he's going to miss out on some home runs being a Great American Ballpark, but his doubles and his extra base hits are going to go way up being in Kauffman Stadium.
Agreed. And I think he's a leadoff guy there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he leads off, and then you get that slew of Witt, Salvi, Pascatino.
Yep. I agree. And they're an aggressive running baseball team. So I would guess India stole a bases goal as well.
Yep. So we shall see. But this is the one that kind of intrigued me. And I sent it to you, and I said I want to kind of dig into this front office and what the hell are they thinking, right? So the Angels have been spending. And I'm like, what? Why? Why are they spending? And then they signed Kikuchi yesterday for 3 years, 63, which in turn, like I said, made the value of Crochet go up a little bit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so now we're sitting at four signings, right? Kyle Hendricks, right?
Yep.
Kevin Newman. He's from the D-backs, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I think, yeah. Denaud.
Catcher. Yep.
Catcher from Atlanta, and Kikuchi, right? And they have a young team over there, so maybe they're just bringing in veterans to kind of help teach all those young guys. Maybe, I don't know, because Denaud is teaching the young rookie catcher from last year who had a pretty decent year. They got 2 or 3 young pitchers. Newman is a super utility guy. Hendricks is just, he's Mark Pryor getting ready to go into being a pitching coach soon. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
I hope everybody that's in the workforce has job security as good as Perry does with the Angels as a GM, because I've just never seen nothing constantly head scratching more than what the Angels do almost every single year.
Right. Look at this.
Yeah. I mean, they got 70 some million, right? 73 between Rendon and Trout guaranteed.
Right.
Who even knows if either player can even complete a full season?
Yep. You got Kikuchi. They signed. They
traded for him, right? They traded for Soler,
right?
Yep.
And then
signed Kikuchi,
right? And then Tyler Anderson he's a tweener. He's like 28, I want to say.
Yep.
Robert Stevenson. Renifo is really good, but look, he's in ARB3.
Yep.
Taylor Ward,
his last year.
Taylor Ward's in ARB3.
Yep.
Right. Moniak is ARB1, so he's probably gonna get some money. Detmer's in ARB1. So this is kind of like I don't know. This is kind of weird.
This is what we talk about. We don't want to see the White Sox do anymore.
Right.
This is band-aiding your roster. Like, just kind of grab a guy. Like, Kikuchi is fine. He's, you know what? He's fine. He's a little older. He is what he is.
He had a nice little year last year.
Lot better in Houston than he was Toronto when they made the changes. They changed up his pitch mix quite a bit. Saw a couple of tweets on that today. It's great. Now, if he was going to like an outsider or a contender or a deal, fantastic. But the Angels are so far from that. I mean, you really think you're going to jump like Houston, Seattle, over there? Like, I just don't see it. I don't get why. I don't understand. Like, it just seems very confusing. Why are you not building around Neto and Hape and, Nolan? Like, that's where.
This is the pocket I was just talking about. They got Noda in there now. Ryan Noda did that. So this is the pocket I wanted to show everybody. And I'm like, okay, you signed these guys, but you got all these guys in pre-arb.
Yeah.
These 1, 2, 3 for sure. Noda is maybe like, we may have to, but then you also got Soriano, who had a year last year. Justin really put us on to Jose Soriano, right? So Soriano, Shanuel, Happy, Neto. Now, what do you said something about the GM, and he has job security, but now how are you going to avoid this log jam right here?
Well, I mean, why are you out signing 2-year vets, 3-year vets? But like, I get you have to get through innings. You have to have stuff happen. But the Kikuchi signing to me, like, I didn't mind a Kyle Hendricks signing, right? He's going to eat some innings, kind of like when the White Sox signed Chris Flexen, right? Like, I get it, traded for Chris Flexen. I get it. Like, some guys got to eat some innings. You got 162 games times 9 innings to get through. I understand. But to go spend $20 million a year on Kikuchi for 3 years, like, when you have Trout and Rendon dragging down your payroll that whole entire time, like, I don't see a window for them to compete. Doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
I don't understand it. Like, this is the Band-Aid stuff that we used to watch, to be honest, Kenny Williams do. And then for the first part of his career, a lot what we used to try to watch Han do. And it's frustrating. I know the fans are frustrated, but like, I mean, they traded away their entire farm to try to make a run with Ohtani a couple of years ago. The White Sox got their catcher from them, and they gave away a couple other guys on a deal. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't get it. It don't make any sense. Whatever. Is he a fine player? Sure. Is he going to have any trade value at $20 million a year? No. So.
Yeah. Look, Ben Joyce is sitting there.
I just don't get why you're not adding to that core that you're talking about. You got Mickey in ARB 1. You got the 4 guys that you just circled, like in pre-ARB or ARB 1. Like, why are you not adding to that deal versus having a 3-year vet starter for $20 million a year?
Yep. And then when you get down here, and this is kind of where, like, I had to, like, kind of study up and understand this, right?
Yeah.
So active roster, you see that 5th?
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's before projected ARB and projected pre-ARB.
Correct.
And a couple of them guys, they're not signing for a little bit of money. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Sure. I mean, projected ARB at 28 is pretty high.
Right. So, like, that's projected, and I think it's going to be higher.
Yep.
So, like, I don't know.
They're at 185. The luxury tax is 237, and then, like, they still really don't even have a team. That's what I said. I don't get what Perry has done to continue to be the general manager of the Los Angeles Angels, but whatever it is, I hope everybody has that much job security, because he should have been walked for screwing up Ohtani and Trout and Rendon for so many years. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, that's just kind of a taste or a appetizer. Well, we might, I think we went from soup, like with the crochet stuff. We just finished salad. Now let's get to the main course.
All right.
Let's get to the main course. And this is the main course because of the guy, right? This is the guy. Juan Damn Soto. This is a guy. And he's going to there has been talks that he's going to get 660.
Yeah.
660.
Well, the other thing that's interesting here in what I find fascinating, and this is going to run a little bit over the next section, so I apologize a little for this, but just the way that like he is affecting the entire market from the way that he's going about his business. Like he wants to meet with the GM. He's meeting with player development people. He wants the GM to lay out their plan for him for the years. He wants to do stuff. He wants the GM that's serious about trying to win.
I heard he wanted a little piece of the pie of the ownership.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be surprising. So, like, he's affecting right now in a good way Crochet's trade value. You can see a trade sooner rather than later because somebody wants to show, let's say it's the Red Sox, somebody wants to show Soto that they're serious about winning. And the best way to do that is you've seen the Red Sox hook to Crochet. You've seen the Red Sox talk about signing 2 of the 3 big free agent pitchers that are out there this year. Maybe signing more than one.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Since we're here, since you brought it up, let's go ahead. I mean, you got sources involved. This is from Buster on the ESPN. You know Buster, he has impeccable sources. Expect teams to will begin forwarding offers this week. To date, the process has been about Soto meeting with teams, club officials, and about those officials getting to know Soto. So that's what you just said, right?
Yeah.
And now you're looking at this bidding war, right?
Yep.
4 teams. Yankees, of course, right? They'll be the last one to get a shot.
Yeah.
The Mets, the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox. And to be honest, I don't think the Blue Jays got a shot.
They're going to just have to overpay. It's the same thing we said 2 weeks ago. They got it, and they're going to have to truly overpay, but I can't imagine them winning in this scenario.
Right. So that leaves 3 teams, in my opinion. That leaves Red Sox, that leaves Mets, and that leaves Yankees. Now, as we talked about, the Red Sox being a team that is in a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Right? They're in a bunch of stuff, including Juan Soto, right?
Yep.
So this came out. The Red Sox not only want to sign one of the marquee free agent pitchers in Corbin Burns, Max Fried, and Blake Snell, but actually want to sign 2.
How crazy was that this morning? When I you text me and I'm like, I go, wouldn't surprise me if they got 2 of them. And then an hour later, this tweet popped up. I'm like, yeah, this is what we were talking about.
This is exactly what we were talking about 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Fried, Burns, and Blake Snell. And it's like he might get both, especially if they miss out on the Soto deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they might try to get a couple locked up to show Soto they're serious. Like, come play with these guys. Like, Soto's literally affecting the market to all this. So how does it tie the White Sox? He's affecting the Crochet market because anybody that trades for Crochet willing to pay shows that owner's about winning, and that's trying to impress Soto. And also, another thing to remember, and the reason why you're not hearing much about Robert is the loser of the Soto trades all become like small players looking for Robert because, like, he's like basically the backup of the backup of the backup plan for like a Soto for somebody.
Right, and then that takes us back to this. So now we get back to this. Let me move this banner real quick. We still talk about Juan Soto, people.
Yeah.
So now we go back to this. This is not an overpay anymore.
No.
Right? It's not.
Right.
It's not an overpay.
Especially with his value up to 47, or whatever. That's right on it.
It's dead on now.
Yep.
And so those were the 2 we had before all of this, right?
Yep.
And so now when you look at what the Red Sox have come out and said, right? The Red Sox have come out and said that these are the ones that they're looking to move around.
Yep.
Right? A trio of names have already been surfaced in trade discussions. This is from Jason McCaffrey or I forget it's John McCaffrey, JC McCaffrey. Trade discussion: Wilder Abreu, Jarren Duran, and Tristan Casas, which kind of caught me by surprise. But then you see this.
Yeah.
They have a meeting scheduled with Willie Adames, and they're talking about that they may want to move what's his name from third to first.
They want to get Devers off third because I've seen him hooked to Bregman too.
Right. And so it's like, okay, now, so that gets me to thinking, right? That gets me to thinking. I'm like, okay, Red Sox, what are we doing? And I don't know if Justin's watching, but he's about to flip a wig because it's either all in or it's shattered dreams for his Red Sox, right?
Yeah.
It's either all in or shattered dreams. So let's look at this. Okay. And I want to kind of wrong button. I want to kind of show this. Here we go. Red Sox payroll. Okay. Now here we are. Now look at their payroll. Right? This is warranted. Okay. Yeah. So Devers for sure. Warranted. This one right here is kind of holding them back.
Yeah.
Giolito. Right?
Lucas is Story's a terrible contract, right? Like,
yeah,
because he's been injured.
But this is the reason why those other guys, and this is why I wanted to ask you. Now, is this the reason you see the names here, right?
Yep.
Duran, Crawford, Bayo, but it's Abreu I'm thinking about, Duran, right? And then you go down a little bit and you see where you go. I know I might have rolled. There's Casas right there. And there's Casas, right? So they make those three available, and they're talking about moving them three. Are they trying to avoid arbitration with them by moving them and getting the best value back for the guys that's already got a value? Or
that's just a great question. A lot of people think that see arbitration is a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. It's still controlled, small raises. Every arbitration has huge value. But the biggest thing here is they're trying, to your point, right? They're loaded. They got Romo Anthony coming, right? For the outfield. Mm-hmm. They already got Duran. They are, you know what I mean? Like they have an extra outfielder. That's why you're seeing them other two guys' names possibly shopped. And then, as far as Casas goes, he's never, the injury played the deal, and they really want to consider getting Devers over there to first base. So, those are some of the deals. But the problem that people are going to run into, and this is why teams like the White Sox have a chance here, is team that's not ready to win, that's probably wouldn't be interested in trading for a Casas or an Abreu or probably even a Duran, just because older and the clock's already ticking, all that stuff. But this is why you can get in there with a three-way deal. Maybe somebody, maybe the Mariners wouldn't mind having Casas, and the White Sox can get in there with Crochet again. You can come up with a three-way trade, on that scenario. So that's what's interesting about everybody trying to move. You're not going to get a contender that contenders don't make good trade partners. They don't want to lose MLB assets, and contenders want MLB assets. A lot of times, the only scenario here that's different is when you have somebody like the Mariners. The Mariners could trade a Brian Wu for a Casas, for example, or because they have so much starting pitching. They have such one area of strength and one area of need. You could possibly see something like that. But usually you got to go through a third team. They trade away one of their best MLB players, and everybody else throws in prospects.
Yeah, and it's now we're looking at how the Mets get into play, right? But I just want to kind of close the conversation on Soto to the Red Sox, right? They definitely will have to make major moves, because you're talking about bringing. So you got projected allocations at 131, right?
Yeah, so they got 100 million there. They got 106. They got room.
They have room, right? So, because you're going to have to give him 600 mil, and then the amount of years changes what you're paying.
And they can be a little, as we've seen, they can be a little, different there. They could give him, 40 the first year, 70 the second. They're allowed to play with some of that stuff a little bit to the deal, but they got room here. And this is why you're saying, to me, the combination makes the most sense. I know you said free today, but if they're going after two, I could see Burns and Snell, right, being the two guys. But also great for the White Sox market for Crochet, if the Red Sox signed 2 of them. Because now there's 6 teams that just lost out that wanted 1 of them. Now he's even more valued or even more wanted. You know, if one team can scoop off 2 of those guys out of there, more power, even better. Even better.
Right. And so now that takes us to the next trade partner. Not trade, but the right now they're saying they're the clear-cut favorites.
The New York Mets, right?
The New York Mets
are going to spend the most. So unless
somebody and here's why. And here's why. And I'm gonna show you their payroll. And this is like, oh shit. I get it. How do I do this? Oh, I know what I gotta do. No, that's wrong. Dang, damn it, Raymond. Stop that screen. And gotta present. That. And here we go. I'm gonna show you their payroll. Their payroll is I think you would appreciate this, E, right?
Yeah.
And it, but look, it's all it's vet, right? So they're gonna make moves for sure, right?
Yep.
It's vet. All the big money
also, you got to remember too, they set themselves up a little bit here because they got rid of like Max Scherzer, they got rid of Justin Verlander, they got rid of some higher end like salaries, and this guy, obviously they put the CBT in because of Cohen, so like he ain't gonna be afraid to spend here.
Yeah, he's not gonna be afraid to spend. But I'm saying you got some guys that are not going to be on this team. I'm sorry, right? There's some guys that are not going to be on this team. If they're going to be in play, if Soto's coming, you're not going to see certain players on this team. You know, you could probably pretty much say goodbye to Starlin Marte.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, he might be. Yeah, he'll be traded somewhere, moved.
You could pretty much say goodbye to him. Yeah, because
they got Siri. I mean, they got Siri.
Yeah, let's face it. Jose Siri.
When they got Siri, and the reason why they got him is they plan on getting Soto, and somebody's got to cover the glove deficit in right field that Soto brings. And there's nobody better than Siri. Siri's like a 908 center fielder. He might be the best.
Yeah, when he and when he's not being goofy at the plate, he's a power bat.
Well, one thing about him is he can change a game anytime. He's got pop, right? And he's got speed.
Yep. And so
now, his average and his approach leave a lot to be desired, but right day or right time, he can change a game.
Yeah, but it's like they don't have too much happening in this area of the contract situations.
Nope.
Right? They really don't. They really don't.
And they don't have much happening on their pitching staff. This is why I've thought that the Mets are maybe a favorite to land Crochet the whole time, because if you talk about Quintana and Sean, Mania left, like who's there? Peterson is either one right now. I mean, like
Taylor McGill. Yeah.
I mean, they don't have much there. So they're also in that big three bidding war. Yeah. So like, and behind the big three free agents comes Crochet, and Crochet comes with only like an $8 million tab, and 2 is a control. So the White Sox are going to get probably $50 million plus in assets back, and it's sorely needed for the offense and the future of the White Sox.
Yeah, and so like it just seemed kind of, you know, just wow. Okay, well, here's the Mets payroll. Here's how it looks. Here's how it fits underneath the new luxury tax. You said it was 238,
237. You know, they only have the 10th highest payroll for a team that's probably going to end up number 1 or 2.
Right.
I do love that Bobby Bonilla and Brett Saberhagen are still getting paid from the Mets, though. Like, that's – did you notice that?
Did you see? Yeah, I saw that. There it is. And did you see that Brett Saberhagen is crazy? But did you see that the Red Sox are still paying Dustin Pedroia and who was it? It was Dustin Pedroia and let me go back to it. They were paying.
I didn't see that part, but yeah.
And They're paying Dustin Pedroia and Manny still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're paying Dustin Pedroia 2.5 and Manny
I love
2.20.
to, like, somebody just came out and said today, I wish I probably should have sent you, should have clicked it, but somebody said the only reason the Dodgers even are mentioned is to drive with the price on somebody else, like for the Soto thing, like trying to keep them out of the other markets. Because that's the problem is who can afford 50 then turn around and give pitchers 30? There ain't too many teams. To your point of doing this whole exercise.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like right now, and I'm gonna pull up this bidding war, Soto bidding war thing, right? Because once that domino falls, the rest of MLB falls in line, right?
Yes.
And then it's gonna be about we got what 2 weeks before the winter meetings,
roughly. Yep.
Week and a half. Like, wait, winter meetings are what, the 9th, right?
Like the 9th, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so you think the deal gets done before the winter meetings?
I would say I feel like Soto is doing his best to be kind of like an ambassador. And I think having him not drag this thing out till February and March doesn't seem like he wants to. The fact he's already made his tours, he's already hit his spots, he's already talked to people. It sounds like he wants whoever he signs with, he wants them to go get him more help now, or whatever. Like Steinbrenner was very open as Soto told him, like, if they do sign him, they need more. And Steinbrenner was like, we understand, or whatever. Like, we know we need more. So I think he wants to make his decision, probably open weekend of the winter meetings at it, just to move on.
Mm-hmm. I don't know though, because the Yankees are sneaky. What do you think?
They are sneaky, but I'm telling you, like, the Yankees aren't the Yankees that we grew up with. Like the luxury tax, when you hear them say things like, we don't want to be in a luxury tax, we don't want to be in a deal, that never used to be a deal under George. Never, ever, ever did they care about nothing. Never. They didn't care. We're the Yankees. If we want somebody, we're just going to pay for them. And now I've already heard today that there's a number they don't want to go across for Soto. Could you imagine George ever saying that? There'd be no chance.
Hell no. No shot. No shot that he would ever say that. And then, they keep asking Aaron Judge what he thinks. Holy shit. All right, hold on. You got to see this. I didn't even look them up. Look at this shit. Look at this shit here, Eric.
Something happened?
No. I just pulled up. It's a complete difference in roster construction from the other two teams. Hold on. Look at this shit. You see that?
Yeah.
Damn.
Kill the Soto one. The Soto one's overlapping it on my side anyway. You got the Soto one covering up on my side, right? Can you take that one down?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. Get that out of here. My bad. Yeah. So there you go.
So they're already at the threshold.
They're at the threshold. That's why I said holy shit.
Like if you go down, go down. Like is that with the with ARB? Does that come out to the 227 or 229, whatever that was?
Let's see. With ARB. Come on. Fucking I hate, like when I'm presenting it that's why I need a second screen. Like,
it jumps around on you.
It jumps around. I hate this shit. Let's see if I can just scroll like that and hit it.
There we go.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, 229. So they're up 237. So they're like already at it.
Yep.
But this is a way that I'm so interested in this offseason. I always am. But like the White Sox are, for the rebuild, are in such a good spot. They're going to have money to burn here. Like they could take on a bad contract. Say take on something from here that the Yankees might want to get rid of to free up some cash to get a couple prospects.
Wow, they got some good players in pre-ARB.
They do.
Look at that.
I mean, but I think they all think they're just like, a pitcher or two short.
Mm-hmm. Wait, where's Soto's contract on here?
It's not on there because he's a free agent, right?
This is true. Right. This is projected 2025. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Damn.
Like they would love to dump that Stanton contract. That's got to be about negative $50 million in value, I'm guessing.
Stanton's getting 32. I did not know
Yeah.
he was getting that much. I did not know he was getting that much. Like, that's worth it. That's worth it ish. Right. This is not worth it.
No.
That's not worth it.
No.
LeMahieu, no.
No.
Nestor, you said no.
I mean, DJ, no. Nestor ain't bad. $8 million for anybody.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Now he's gonna get more money, or he's gone. Jazz.
Well, he's an ARB. Ain't much he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 2 more years until he can be a free agent. So
yeah,
that's why he brought back a pretty good haul. But I can see him wanting somebody like, for example, they would love to get rid of DJ LeMahieu's contract, right? They would love to move that. And I don't even know if it's got a no trade in it or not. But if it doesn't, like that's something with the White Sox. Well, here, let me just look it up. I guarantee that's almost all negative on $15 million he's owed.
LeMahieu, yes, 15 mil, yes.
Oh, here, let's just look it up. Let's do some live look up here. Yankees. His contract value, it's got to be all negative. Does he have a year after this, or is this his last year? I don't even know for sure.
I'm about to click on it. LeMahieu, right?
He must have another year left.
LeMahieu has.
Two.
He has. Damn it! Stop moving. Shoot.
25, 26 must be.
Yeah. Yep, 25 and 26.
Yeah, so he's owed $30 million, and his value is negative 28. Like, it's just almost all of its deal. But that's something, a team like the White Sox could eat a lot of that, free up the Yankees so they can go spin, and the Yankees got to ship them a couple prospects. Like, there's all kinds of ways to build from the White Sox side of the deal here. So that's why it's going to be intriguing. It's going to be intriguing. Mm-hmm. With no pressure, like they're in no rush.
Yeah, how could we be? We won 33 games, so there's no rush.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason, no hurry, no reason to go anywhere. So, like, it's going to be interesting. I think, you can see some more stuff trickle in, like the Kikuchi signing even before the holiday. Then after the holiday, winter meetings start, and hopefully it's active. Hopefully it's not slow again. Hopefully it's active.
And the White Sox are bringing back Sox Fest.
I saw that.
And
Justin was talking to me about maybe coming up.
Yeah. Well, he hit you. He hit me. I think he hit everybody. He's making it. He thinks it's a priority move for us, and especially for us to get the VIP so we can be seen, be heard. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Him and I talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about it too, and I think that's a good idea to do it. I think either way. I think I'm gonna go this year just because it's fresh, it's new, and that's not going to change my mind on season tickets.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not. I don't think I'm doing that again.
I'm so far. Now it's so far, and there's a long ways to go, but. If I was at the helm of Chicago, like, I wouldn't have done much different. Trading Cease, getting rid of Kopech. Now you're going to trade Grosje. You're going to really try to add to those layers that you and I always talk about. Drafting the safe pick in Hagen Smith. You've developed left-handed starting pitching before. Like, they got the manager that seemed to be very coveted. They got a pitching guy that's everybody knows in Bannister. They got the hitting coach from the Orioles. Like, they fired all the international guys finally, scouts or whatever. Got getting a new direction out of there. Considering I think we're 0 for the world. I can't remember the last international prospect that hit for the White Sox other than Luis Robert, who we paid for basically. No, I mean, I'm excited about the direction in the build again, but to your point about season tickets, it's not going to be any fun to watch for a couple years still.
Yeah.
So you can get like a Noah and get Hagen up there, and some of these other guys come along. Like, it ain't gonna be much to watch.
A couple things as I'm scrolling as we're getting ready to leave, right? So Jeff Passan's recent article discussed his perfect move for teams. Red Sox sign Blake Snell. White Sox trade Garrett Crochet to Boston. Right.
Yeah.
But this is one that kind of like, okay, so this one right here is Jim Bowden, GM, was asked if Wally Abreu could headline a package for Garrett Crochet, and he thinks Tristan Casas will need to be involved. He's like, based on what the White Sox are saying, he believes, this is Jim Bowden, GM, right?
Yeah. The
a
old
package
GM.
of Casas,
yeah.
Casas, Abreu, Connor Wong probably gets close to landing Crochet. This is operating with the mindset that the big four would be involved.
It just doesn't make any sense for the White Sox to have two guys with their clocks already taken added. Like, we've talked about it. Like, the window doesn't even start for 27, probably. 27 is probably the first year you can probably look at being anywhere close to a 500 team. Why would you want to, again, Band-Aid it with Casas Abreu? Who, like, people can't think outside of MLB. They just can't. And I think people don't do the best job of thinking about where teams are and what teams want.
Right.
They just think Boston might want to get rid of these players, and these players make the White Sox better. And you're not wrong. Adding Casas and Abreu makes the White Sox a ton better. I'm not saying you're wrong. Of course they do. But what's the point? Going from 42 wins to 62 wins and still losing 100 games? Like, doesn't do any good. Doesn't do any good.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about this as we work on our third base rankings for fantasy for next week. So be on the lookout for that. Next week is going to be unless something major happens in the trade market / signings or whatever. Next week will be fantasy centric. We're going to be ranking live our third base rankings for fantasy baseball. And it's not
one season rankings. One season rankings, right?
One season rankings. And then we will talk about if a young guy does pop up, we will talk about how we rank them in Dynasty.
It matters, yeah,
because it is a difference. It matters. It's a difference in Dynasty. Yeah. Like for instance, we were talking offline about Jarren Duran, right?
Right.
Like in Dynasty, he doesn't have as much value as he does in a 1 year. He just doesn't.
Right.
So yeah. So but then you got a guy like who did I say? I don't know. Whatever.
Well, Junior's got more in Dynasty than he does in the 1 year. But a guy like Alex Bregman is going to have way more than 1 year than he does in like the Dynasty, right? Like it's just going to matter.
Right. Well, you're talking about Bobby Witt. Yeah.
Or no, Junior Caminero or whatever. Like for the
that's who it was. Junior Caminero. That's what. Yeah, Junior Caminero.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot more value in a Dynasty than he's going to have. Than he's going to have in a 1 year draft. But you and I are preparing to get into the big deal for the 1 year draft. So we're going to start putting together our draft boards,
big boards,
and our strategy there. And the leagues we're talking about play-on is going to bring a little bit of a twist because we're going to have backups too. So we're going to have to go deep at several positions because we're talking about possibly entering like some of the bigger contests that have the no transactions, no waiver wires type moves. You're going to have 2 or 3 guys at every spot.
And what do you think about that? What do you think about that? The 2 teams playing in minor league stadiums this year.
Dude, it matters a ton. Like it moves both.
I know, right?
It makes both. I don't know much about the Yankees dimension. I haven't studied them a ton, but I know that Sacramento joint is a lot like Charlotte. I know it's a boombox. So you're talking about Roker and Garius and those guys and Butler. They're worth so much more in Oakland this year than they would be if they're in the Coliseum.
Yeah. And then, like, Tampa Bay has to play in their affiliates. So it's just like, it's kind of crazy.
All that stuff matters, especially for the 1 year stuff. But people are going to overreach. They're going to overreach. So, because they think they're onto something there. But, I would say the bigger questions on how that stuff impacts, everybody's going to want to jump to like the Rookers and the Butlers of Oakland, but it pretty much makes any of their starting pitchers almost non-playable.
Yeah. Holy shoot, man. I keep running across these tweets. I'm not even gonna worry about it. It was a Soto tweet. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff happening.
I'm loving all the baseball action. The baseball action is great.
It's a lot of stuff happening. It's a lot of tweets. Like you said, on your timeline, it just becomes what you love. And my timeline is basically baseball.
That's all it is I got fantasy projections and possible deal stuff all day long.
Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah. But anyway, I don't got nothing else. You got holy shit. Red Sox. What would be your reaction if the Red Sox signed Juan Soto for $12,750 million? It's never going to happen.
Listen, baseball is 100% a different game anymore because people understand players don't necessarily, how do I want to say this? It's not necessarily getting paid what you're worth as a baseball player. They know what they can do for your market as well. Like whoever lands Soto, instantly they get instant return.
Instant return to your stadium sales, instant
season
return
tickets,
to merch sales,
merchandise,
season
branding,
sales,
anything you want to do outside, like
in the city. He's
any event you want to run, like
lightning rod. That's what he is.
Did you see
a lightning rod?
Did you see the tweet that I put over about Tony Gwynn's deal in Soto?
Oh
my goodness! I don't know how far it's buried in our chat.
You sent me a tweet about what?
No, it was in the scumbag things. Like, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, ain't no way.
It's probably buried, but I don't tweet a lot in there. So here you go. How do you like this? Padres Tony Gwynn had a .388 on-base percentage for his entire career. I mean, that's good, right? I mean, you're 12 points from 400.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Juan Soto had a .388 on-base percentage during the worst 162-game stretch of his career.
That's just dumb. That's just stupid. No, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is insane.
I hope he stays out of New York. I would love to see Boston or Toronto get him, but I just, I don't see how anybody beats the Mets if he's after the money. And if he's after a 12-year contending team, who's going to spend more money in the next 12 years than Cohen is for the Mets? Nobody.
This is true. Well, on that note, thank you everybody for tuning in. I know we kind of just moved through, but we just want to just cover what's been going on in the offseason, kind of touch back on where we at with Garrett Crochet.
We just want to talk baseball for a while. That's all we want.
Just talk baseball for about an hour.
Makes Mondays better.
Yeah, and just have a good convo and kind of understand what offseason baseball is about, because it's a real thing to me now. Like, I enjoy watching the things that are happening way more than anything else in the wintertime.
It's just starting to heat up too.
Yep. So
just starting to heat up. All right.
Yep. So with that, Eric, you got any last words?
I don't, buddy. Everybody have a good holiday. Everybody enjoy your family, turkey, all that good stuff.
Yep. Enjoy your holidays. We'll be back. Maybe not this coming Monday, but definitely the Monday after that.
Yeah, fantasy baseball rankings. Here we go.
Yep, fantasy baseball rankings. We're going to do our third baseman first, and then we're going to go the opposite way on the diamond and work our way into the outfield. So be on the lookout for that, and thank you guys for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, please just give us a thumbs up, comment and subscribe if you hadn't already. And if you're on Twitter, slide over to YouTube and just go over there and subscribe and like for us if you don't mind.
We appreciate it if you would.
We appreciate that if you would. And yeah, so that's it. Let's turn the lights off. Yeah. Here's Caleb talking trash. How many of my third basemen will be in the top 5?
Probably a lot of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, right. Like, because Cameron Arrow is up there. Hey, I can't stand him. Shut up, Caleb.
He's got Devers too. He's got Devers too. He's good at that position. He's good at that position.
Yeah, he is good. Fucking. Anyway, and on that note, thank you, Caleb. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. We're gonna cut the lights off of here. Have a good holiday, guys. Thank you.